Good morning, everybody. I hope everybody's doing well. Welcome to session 7 of Decision of Self. It is that time to get started. I want you to center yourself for just a moment, and I want you to set your intention. What is your intention for today? We've covered an awful lot of content. If this is session 7, 6, probably 8 hours. They've been going an hour and a half, 9 hours of content. This is more than your average free challenge, right? This is a structure-based, put your butt in gear kind of conversation. So you are hitting some challenges, you are hitting some walls. It's common, it's normal. And what you want to become fully aware of is that they are temporary. When you realize that it is neuroencoding what you're experiencing. I had somebody message me this morning that they got a wicked headache. There's not much you did different in your body unless some kind of gas or you did some crazy exercise that you're detoxing. Headaches are designed to go away. What do most people take? They take Excedrin, they take caffeine, they take something that helps to thin the blood a little bit, an aspirin. It's about fluid flow. And so all I can tell you is that this is your body reacting. And the reason we're not sure where any of our discomfort, man, my shoulder hurts. I get an indicator right here in this shoulder. And I've been accidentally stabbed before working on a farm. It was self-inflicted. It hurts. It hurts. And then the healing process hurts. So I get stabbed in the arm here energetically by something. And it hurts, but it hurts at a deep level. And there's really nothing you can do to move it out of the way. I used to think it was physical. It was energetic. I say that to say we're on day 7. We have 8 more days to give to ourselves, to give to new ideas. So if you look at this image behind me, that is a meteor, a sphere impacting a larger sphere, right? The compound effect. What I want you to become aware of is that we are hitting the compound effect on day 7, which is why this is located at day 7. The reason I want you to become aware of what the compound effect is that from day 1, setting your identity, to setting your vision, to understanding goal setting and constructive goal setting, to doing the recap, to realizing how much power you have. Would it be fair to say that you feel you have more power? And power, the definition of power is the ability to organize effort. Follow me? Power isn't the energy that comes through a light switch. That's energy. And the energy that you have can be used for anything. When you gain power, when looking at countries, and we say, well, that country is more powerful than the other one. It's organized effort, right? It's organizing and directing the amount of energy you have. So you have an unlimited. So if we were to look at organized or compound effort, and you were to put a square on your paper, and you can write it big enough to write inside this square. Some of you know where I'm going with this. You've been around me long enough. I want you to write in the top left-hand corner, right, on your screen, top left-hand corner, I want you to write P. In the top, if that's the top left-hand corner, top right-hand corner, I want you to write A. Below the A, I want you to write R. And bottom left under the P, I want you to write B. And when we talk about the compound effect, I want you to fully emotionalize this chart. And so here's what that stands for. The P stands for potential. how much potential is available to you? Not how much of my potential can you use, your neighbor's potential, your husband's potential, your grandkids' potential. How much potential is available to you? What percentage? Say it out loud. Unmute and say it out loud. What percentage of possibilities?
100%.
100%. So you all agree with that. You typed it in the chat. You all agree that there's 100% potential. So if that's the case, and it is, we have to pay attention to the other three, don't we? Because don't we want more? Aren't we capable of more? Aren't we capable of compounding the effect? Einstein said it's the eighth wonder of the world, the idea of compounding. You put $1 in the bank, there's 20% interest. If there was, that'd be awesome, right? So it's $1.20 at the end of the year. Now you get a 20% interest, not on the dollar you put in, not on your investment that you put in, not on the initial funding that you put in. You get interest on the $1.20. You get interest on the interest. That's compounding effect. When you put effort in, the reason that you struggle, the reason that you get stuck is that you are not compounding your efforts. You are not getting any power. You're not getting any more energy. You are not compounding your efforts. Dare I say, you are compounding your limitations. Because the second part of this, so the P is potential. The A is action. If you have 100% potential, the rules state that you can take action. If you took the appropriate action, follow me on this. We're going to do a little, normally this presentation, I did this presentation at the ANMP, the Association of Network Marketing Professionals. After 3 days, 4 days, 3 days and an evening of some of the greatest networkers on the planet, spending their time, giving their best in a 20-minute presentation. Some of the keynotes got an hour. At the end of it, the president of the ANMP says to me, he says, hey, listen, do you have something for 10 minutes? The entire 72 hours, all of the speakers were given 20 minutes, 19 minutes, 20 minutes. And they delivered knock your socks off content. I'm asked, hey, it was supposed to be, they said, if we have it at the time, we'll try to schedule it and give you 15 minutes. But it came down, do you have 10 minutes? Didn't even know it was going to do it. Because didn't think there was 10 minutes. So he cut his conversation by 10 because he was coming up after me and said, hey, listen, take 10. You've got tremendous value. I know you got something that'll just absolutely put this whole event together. So I did this. Writing it in my journal, taking my just this a regular journal this size, and doing the same thing and taking a page and putting the P, the R, the A, the R, and the B. And it was one of the most powerful presentations available. So my point is that I was working on the A. I had a 10-minute potential to do amazing stuff. So I had to take A for action. Can you take, what percentage action do most people take? I don't need you to throw yourself under the bus. But if you were to say from 0 to 100, if it's 100% potential using that same scale, how much action do they take? What percentage of possibilities do people take action-wise?
10.
Could be 10. So yeah. So 10 is a good number. Anybody else want to throw out? There is no number for this. There's just an observation for this. There's no correct number for this because some people seem to produce a lot more results, that's what the R stands for, than others. So what is the potential? Somebody else type it in the chat, throw out a number. Could be 50%. I don't know. Throw out a number.
$30.
Yeah. Okay. 30%. Good number. Do you see if it's anything less than 100? Who makes that determination of what percentage of action? This is about creating the compound effect. So it is the compound effect. If we have 100% potential, type in the number that you not inside the box, outside the box somewhere. And if you did inside the box, okay, that's all right. What percent of action is available? What percent of action is available? Isn't it 100? Don't we have 100% actionable possibilities and capabilities? But if we're taking 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, what would happen if people who took 30% action of the 100% possibilities just doubled it, went to 60%? How much possibility is left? There's 40% they never tap into. Well, Sean, how do you take 100% action? Jim Rohn's favorite word. Anyone want to say it? Until. How many of you have taken action on something and knocked it out of the park, got better results than you anticipated? You used up the 100% of action possibility. You know what the challenge is? It's our self-talk. Our self-talk is what limits us. If we have 100% possibility and we take 50% of the possibilities available to us, doesn't that sound nuts? Of the children, when born, who are capable and structured and possible to walk, how many of those who can walk physically are capable of walking? I know some children are born with challenges, physical challenges. Of the 100% of children who are born with the capacity and capability of walking, how many walk? Do they all walk on the same day? Is it all, well, your kid, all children walk in 113 days. On day 113, boom, they start walking. Of all of those born with the capability and the capacity, 100% become mobile. Why? How many of you are not yet walking in your business? Why? It's because of the R. R stands for results. Potential, possibilities, potential, actions, bottom below the actions is results. What happens when a child falls down? They cry, we pick them up, we comfort them. Do you say, well, don't ever do that again? And you know what? You're not wrong when they say that. When parents say, don't do that again. No, don't fall down again. They fall down differently. Can a child ever fall down the same way twice? Follow me on this. This is a little Zen Buddha question. Can they ever fall down the same way twice? Type it in the chat. Say it out loud. No, they can't. I'm watching your heads. They can never fall the same way. Today will never exist again. You watch this recording, it is a different recording. Because the recording's different or because you're different. How many of you have read a book 2 times? Type in the chat, what's the most numbers of times you've read a book? Or say it out loud. What's the most number of times you've read a book? If you're counting a particular book that you love to read, how many times have you read it? 26 times. 3 times.
50 times.
50 times. Why? It's the same book. It's never the same book. The words don't change, you change. You want to understand compound effect? Allow the change in you to become the new standard. We have these roller coasters of success and non-success, and success and lesson, and success and lesson, and success and lesson, and we never stack them on top of each other. We stack them this way in what's called our lifeline. We don't seem to stack them this way. Could you imagine if they talk about $1 million is this high and $1 billion is the size of a building, and $1 trillion is from here to the moon, right? They give you a scale. Do you know what happens in our life? The reason that we struggle in creating momentum is that we have no scale. The way we create the scale of our life is we compare our timeline versus somebody else's timeline and where they're at, versus stacking our own timeline, making it a vertical timeline, and realizing how many times we've done the same thing over and over. If you stacked your struggles up against your wins, which pile is higher? Because these things keep getting sprinkled out in this timeline, we always seem to track time on a horizontal level. What if we started to separate it out and we started to stack our lessons and our wins, our struggles and our wins? What's the tiniest in this graph? Left side, right side, you pick it. What's the tiniest thing on the graph? It's your graph. I don't know what it is. You don't even have to say it out loud. Some of you, it might be love. Some of you, it might be family. Think of your 5 pillars. Let's do this. Let's go create some momentum. Understand why we might be where we're at. Go put your 5 pillars in a vertical graph over your timeline, yours, not mine. And which one's the biggest? Of the 5 positive, powerful pillars: family, body, mind, finances, and society. Which one's the biggest? Because all of your timeline is in one of those 5. And faith, you can put faith in there too, if that's a part of your lifestyle. Which one's the biggest? And stack them according to the comparison to your overall life timeline. It's why I created a program called Life Navigator. It's a 12-month course. Most people can't make it to month 5. Most people. You want to talk about compound effect? Your journals are your compound effect. Your journals are where you get momentum. Every day, checking in, morning and evening. I can tell you this. How many of you have ever seen a movie where it's about prison? Don't they check them, count them or some kind of POW where they're in a prison camp. Don't they do a head count in the morning and a head count at evening? Don't they check in and see how many are here and how many are not here? How many of you do a head count on your dreams? Some of your dreams have escaped. They jumped over the fence and you don't know it. You don't do a head count. You don't check in on your capabilities and capacities on an hourly basis.
Bonus.
So your dreams get up and they leave because they can leave. They don't realize that they need to work for you. Don't your dreams work for you, or are you working for your dreams? You change that. Just sit here and change that philosophy. My dreams work for me. Doesn't that mean they have to give you the strategy? The reason you work for your dreams is because your dreams are lazy. You have lazy dreams. You're working for your dreams? Why don't you structure them in such a way, build them in such a way, fabricate them in such a way that they go to work for you? They give you the strategies. You keep building them. You keep tweaking them. You keep visualizing them at such a high level that you can feel it. How many of you are feeling a little bit of tension right now? Let's go ahead and turn your dream. Let's go ahead and create some compound effect. Let's take this philosophy of my dreams work for me. Write it down. Write it down. Maybe it's the first time in 1,000 years. Anyone in your lineage, anyone in your family, anyone in your capacity, anyone with your capability is now saying, you work for me.
Bonus.
So as you write down your dream right now, just write down the philosophy of the dream, or the energy of the dream, the title of the dream. We were on a call last night on the Law of Success call, and somebody had a bikini body ready on April 1st. That's their short-term dream. If maybe a body is important for you right now, maybe that's your focus right now. I want you to imagine, for all of you, I want you to imagine that you're part of a mastermind right now. I mean, a true mastermind, a mastermind that has the 7 key qualities that Hill talks about. One of them is the ability to be in harmony with all others in the mastermind. So if Bikini Body was the request to the group, to you, the group you're a part of, this mastermind, I want you to type out in the chat, what are some ways that a bikini ready body goes to work for you? Throw out some ideas. What are some ideas that dream could start to go to work for you? What would that look like? What would that sound like? What would you type in the chat? If a bikini body goes to work for you, what's some things that body should do to work for you? Interesting, huh? How many of you want finances as your pillar in 2025, which is where you typically start, because that's the easiest thing. There's not a lot of transformation that needs to take place in the human mind right now, because most people lack money. It's the thing they seek most is the thing they lack the most. There's a clue there if you really pay attention to it. The thing you seek, you are wired to avoid it. The thing you seek, you're wired to avoid it because you don't have an identity. So, bikini body, right? For me, a bikini body would mean I've got abs versus a pony keg. So if I put my body to work and I say, you need abs, you're going to get abs between now and April 1st. The first thing that pops into my mind, Dr. Freud to the lobby, Dr. Freud to the lobby. the first thing that pops into my mind is I need to do sit-ups. Now, if you're in the wellness world and you're a physical trainer, you're probably gonna say that's the worst thing you could do. I don't know, but I'm telling you what my mind told me. Now, if I want to verify that, I would ask somebody who's well-trained. I would ask a mentor, are sit-ups the best way for me to go get abs? Well, it depends how you have to have form in this. They're going to get into the detail of it. And it might be a yes, it could be a no. But there may be something better. Here's the challenge. In your dream, your momentum you want to create, you're not asking for help because you're afraid to ask for help. So therefore, the compound effect is wiped out. This making sense? So let's go back to the PARB. We got potential. We tim it down to, in our actions, we take away our 100% of possibilities, our potential, and we minimize it by the actions we take, which produces what? Our actions produce what? You know they are results. Now, if we had 100% potential and we took 50% action, 50%, somebody also threw out a number of 10%. What percentage of possible 100% result do we typically get? Just do the math. 10% of 100 is 10%. If you do 50% of actions available to you, are you going to get 50% results? Probably not. You're going to get results that get you by. Ouch. The results you get. So you got to ask yourself, which way does this formula go? If we operate based upon our results, and our results right now are 1x, 2x, 3x, 5x less, 10x less than where we want to go, aren't we operating our life based upon results and not actions? Kind of wrecking your brain here a little bit because I want you to understand how simple the formula is when you use multiplication, not addition and subtraction. When you use advanced math versus simple math. So somebody throw it out. If there's 100% potential and somebody takes 50% actions, there is no correct number. There is no mathematical formula because it comes back to not about doing certain things, doing things in a certain way. And maybe they do things in a certain way. But what percentage of results do you think somebody gets? Of all that's possible, what do you think the results they get? Type it in the chat. Say it out loud. I don't know. I want your brain to come up with a formula that shows the way your world seems to be operating.
100% in
You
what?
get 100% of the results of the actions they took.
Right.
Then why are more people more sad than they are happy? Because they accept that this is the best that's available. So actions, here's where it gets really fundamental. Your actions produce what? The B, which stands for your beliefs. How many of you know drop a K in the chat if you know you're worth more? You know you can do more. If you're watching this recording, type in the comment section in this section, you know you're worth more. So if you know you're worth more, what do you think that does to your belief? Watch this. Most people want to go on and go, well, I'm just going to use more of my potential. I got more potential. I'm wired for more. I'm going to just use more of my potential. And they do more action. They go from 30% to 50% to 60% of the potential action. And it produces 100% result. But even though it's a better result, it doesn't change their what? Their be. Doesn't change their belief in themselves. If you could insert yourself into this circle, where would you insert yourself right now to be able to influence it with the most power, organized effort? Would you insert yourself into action and take more action, go from 50 to 70 to 80% of the action? Would you insert yourself to changing the way you look at your results and go, that's not enough. I need more. I need more. I need more. And you go back to action and you go to results and you go to action, you go to results, you go to strategy and you get strategy, you go to strategy, you get strategy, you go to strategy, you get strategy, you go to strategy, you get strategy, and you're exhausted and you die of a heart attack. I saw you type it in the chat. Why don't we talk about this? How many of you know that the pharmaceutical industry does not like to talk about natural products? Does anybody know why? Does anybody know why that pharmaceuticals don't sell natural products?
There's not much money in it.
There's no money in it because they can't patent it. You know why most coaches never talk about belief? They teach you strategy and you buy strategy. Here's your 7-step program to this. Here's your 5 steps to do this. Because if I try to sell you on belief, your resistance to growing your belief is better than any sales pitch I can create. Which is why for 6 years, I've been velvet hammering you around belief.
Bonus, bonus, bonus.
Some of you have the greatest product known to man. World-class natural product, better than anything that exists. Easy to talk about, easy to show the results. When you watch your doctors talk about your product, it is world-class. The results that people have had are life-changing. You see the potential of your product and your business model as 100. Oh my gosh. 6 figures is easy in my business model. But then you go out and take action. And your actions give you $100 a month business model. And so therefore you say, I guess I'm not good. My results aren't theirs. My chapter 2 is nothing like their chapter 37. And that drives your belief. And then maybe your belief drives your potential, thinking, well, maybe I'm not cut out for this. And you don't see 100% potential anymore. You see 90% potential. And you go to an event and you're going to take new actions and you get new results. But because your belief was at 90%, not 100, you wind up struggling again. And you go back to writing in your journal and you go back to doing your affirmations and you decide, I'm going to get a little mastermind group together and we're going to talk about it. And it goes on for 3 months, 6 months, maybe 7 months. And your potential goes up to 95 and then the mastermind falls apart or the company changes the comp plan and you get a customer who calls you and goes, my cat ate the product and it doesn't work for them. And your potential drops back down to 80%. Then you do less actions and now your results are even a little bit less. And you're like, your belief just goes from 100% belief in you to 10% belief in you. If I could only be, how many of us know somebody who says, if I could only be like so-and-so, my world would change. And your belief drops a little bit more. And now you're at 10%, 9% belief in yourself. Can you see 100% potential? Let's say you're at 50% belief in yourself. I have good days and bad days. I'm a 50-50 kind of person. Let's say you got a good day and you have 50% belief in yourself. Out of the 100% potential, you have 50% belief in yourself. What does that do? 50% belief in you as a person. What does that do to your potential? The 100% that was available, can you now only see 50% of it? And if you only see 50% of the potential that's available to you because you become your rose-colored glasses, what does that do to your action? If you were taking 50% action before, aren't you at 25% action now if we do the formula? And if you're doing half of the action, what do you think happens to your results? Unless, of course, you do things in a certain way. How many of us have had things work for us and we don't even know why it worked? Oh my God, I don't know how that happened. It was just amazing. It just kind of appeared. I got a check and it was amazing. It was awesome. It's because the universe figured out a way to get past your walls of doubt and fear and mistrust. And it gave you a little bit of evidence of your possibility. It gave you a little bit of evidence of your potential. This making sense? So we need to work on our belief. And we need to be checking in on our belief on everything we do. One of the things that many of you who've been around me for a while, we have to control our body. This isn't about controlling your thoughts and controlling your mind and setting up your state and getting your vision board up. This is about controlling your body. Everything you're about to go do requires and incorporates and involves your body. I'll prove it to you. I want you to think one of the happiest thoughts you have. Think about it. What's one of the happiest thoughts you had? Birth of a child, a birthday, your wedding day, right? What's a great day in your life? What's a more recent day in your life? In the last year, what's been a pretty amazing? Child shows up, you go on vacation, you get an award, somebody buys you dinner. What's a good thing that happened? What's something good that happened in the last week? You got to write an article for a global online magazine. Somebody bought you a cup of coffee. Somebody waved at you. Somebody said your hair looked nice. What's something that's happened in the last 72 hours? Now, you haven't really moved. Maybe your body forced you to move. But I can promise you this. If we were to take your blood before I started to ask you these questions and take your blood now, how many of you believe the blood might look different? How many of you believe that your thoughts can influence your day? Emerson said the most difficult thing anyone could do is the idea of sustained thought. How often do you think of your dreams? How often do you think of your joys? How often do you think of your wonderful things in life? Or can somebody on social media post something and you go, well, that's stupid. That's not true.
Oh, wow, bonus.
Really? You're going to go, somebody posts something and they got under your skin. How the frick can they get under your skin? Unless you got an opening that says, here, poke me here. Poke me here, I get pissed off. Let me read something that I have to respond to so that I can prove a point. I can show that I'm not for that. Nobody knew you were against it till you opened your mouth. Jim Rohn said, Einstein said, a lot of people said, somebody said, I don't know who said it, but nobody knows how ignorant you are till you open your mouth and prove it. That's why I don't talk a lot, because I would prove a lot of people right.
Oh God, bonus.
I am so ignorant in so many things. And when I mean ignorant, I mean stone cold ignorant. Ask me about how the cardiovascular system, stone cold idiot. Ask me how the digestive system works in a goat. Not 100% sure. In a cow, yeah. Ask me how a combustion engine works. Enough to take it apart and put it back together. Stone cold idiot. I'm ignorant. If you voice an opinion, do I understand where and how and why you voice that? Do I have any inkling of where your opinion comes from? Do I have any desire to try to figure out why it makes sense to you? Stone cold idiot. Isn't that fascinating? The reason that more people are struggling today than they were 30 years ago, more is, yeah, the population's increased. But why are suicides on the rise? Why is depression on the rise? You want to know why? Because everybody's trying to figure out everybody else. Everybody's trying to prove everybody else is wrong. Everybody's trying to say, to show that they are valuable in an invaluable conversation. That needs to go on a t-shirt. And I've never said that before. At least I don't remember saying it. We try to bring value to an invaluable conversation, to an unvaluable, to a non-valued conversation. How many of the things that you've gotten angered over in a dialogue or on a post are something that you are still having a conversation about with somebody? So you had this temporary flash in the pan. Can I let you in on a little secret? How many of you want to know a little secret? Drop an S in the chat or say secret.
Secret.
Everything you've ever said, everything that's ever been said to you, everything you've ever read, everything that's ever been read to you has been recorded in your mind. That which you repeat on a regular basis becomes permanent. So if you read a lot of stuff that's of a particular genre, your reticular activating system, it has formed an emotional state in your body that your formation system has created your activation system. You go look for those things. How many of you have ever gotten a new shirt or a new blouse or a new dress or a new pair of shoes? You put them on, and as soon as you put them on, or a new car or a car of a particular brand, make, and model. And as soon as you got the car, everybody else has got the same car. You see the car three different and each corner of the stoplight. You see somebody, oh my gosh, I've seen that shirt. That's the third person that got that shirt. You want to know why you see other people have what you have? This one could really hurt. So make sure you're sitting down and make sure you're not driving. If you're driving, turn the volume off because you don't want to hear this. If you've ever gotten something that you see somebody else has, once you have it, you are not thinking big enough. You want what nobody else has. Why are you seeing things that people have of yours? You're not thinking big enough. You're not putting enough belief into it of what it is you want. You are settling.
Bonus.
You are settling. And yeah, that hurts. It should hurt. You know you don't want to settle, period. This is about us going after our belief. See, nobody's going to teach you belief because it's all about you. And nobody who's teaching wants it to be about you. They want it to be about them. Oh, snap. So I want you to pick a goal right now. We're going to create some compound effect. Wow, I've been talking for 50 minutes. Good Lord. How many of you know we barely scratched the tip of the iceberg? We haven't even scratched the tip of the iceberg. So part of the mastermind that I'm starting, imagine being able to understand this left, right, and center, inside, outside, upside, downside. What would you pay to understand how to motivate your belief? What would that be worth to you? What would that one single skill be worth to you to be able to upgrade and motivate your belief at a moment's notice, to be able to install the infantry necessary to go out and fight the discomfort, to fight the illusion, to fight the delusion of your mind, so that when you look at potential, you can see the 100% potential, and you can take the one action that produces the 100% results based upon the potential. It's called compression of time. It's called accountability to your own beliefs and thoughts. It's upgrading your value system. You don't teach, listen carefully, you don't teach what you want, you teach what you tolerate. And what you tolerate, you do. Welcome to your morning wake-up call.
Bonus.
So you tolerate this life. If you don't want this life, you are tolerating it.
Can I get that in writing?
Yes, you may, my love. You are tolerating your current you are tolerating it. Why? Because it's like that fly that flies around you. Oh my God, this fly is so annoying. One fly can annoy your day. You don't even tolerate a fly, yet you tolerate this comfort zone that you're trying to leave expeditiously. We can't do anything about the potential. It's 100% there. How much more who are you to want 101% potential, 101% of the potential that's available? Why not just go get the 100 and then you'll find out? Your actions are tolerant. You tolerate the level of actions you take, and it gives you a level of results that you tolerate. So in order to not be anxious, upset, throwing up, massive headaches, you adjust your beliefs. And I don't think that's fair. I can't get you to, I can help you maybe do some actions better. That's the only place I would have any influence if I didn't understand how to rewire your brain, understanding how it got wired. You all got wired the same way. You had a massive experience in your life that said, you better sit down and shut up. You can call it a whole bunch of different things. We call it trauma. We call it childhood disorders. We call it letters, ADD, ADHD. I have this, I have that. We can say I'm codependent. I was in bad relationships. That all happens in your brain. Sorry. And your brain could use an upgrade. And that will shift your beliefs. You are not coming to me to learn how to build your bicep. You are not coming to me to learn how to grow your bank account. Because none of that works long term. The only thing that shifts our world and to create wealth is our belief, aka gratitude. So that's the only area I figured out I could work in. I used to want to get people motivated and inspired. Jim Rohn said it best. You motivate an idiot, what do you get? A motivated idiot. So think about what you are going to spend on books. For those of you that purchased the book yesterday, thank you, thank you, thank you. We were number 1 in 33 categories, number 2 in 8 categories. So I get to say now I'm a 6-time #1 best-selling author. Kind of cool. If proximity is power, Lessons from Thought Leaders is the title of it. If proximity is power, who you hang around with. Yes, I'm a 6-time #1 best-selling author. You know how? Because I got in with a group of people who were 6-time #1 best-selling authors. Some of them had their own personal book. The majority of us collaborated. Ask me how many books I have on my own. Zero. Because I don't have my own book published, does that keep me from being a 6-time #1 best-selling author? Do I not get to take that claim? I get to take that claim. Why? Because you hit the number, you hit the qualifications based upon the rules of the result. Follow me on this. What's the potential of every book that's written? 100% to be a #1 best-selling author. What's the actions that somebody can take? To be a best-selling author, the rules are very simple. You got to have this many sales and that many sales and this many categories and that. The actions you can take are 100%. And there's people who have identified themselves, put themselves in that particular place, put themselves in that particular category because it was a niche category and they needed minimal sales. And what were their results? Too many people know what category they want to be in. They've got no plan to get there. You have got to sell the book before it's sold. How many of you got an email before the launch date saying we're getting ready to launch? Are you ready? How many of you have sent yourself an email today that said, I'm on my way to my $500,000? We're launching today. Today is the launch. Buy, get your book, get your belief, get your personality, get your positivity in place to buy the $500,000. How many of you bought your dream this morning? How many of you bought your 2025 dream this morning? I mean, bought it. You were like totally in. You put your credit card down in your belief and you said, I'm all in. This is the only thing I'm going to focus on. And you put in your shipping address going, I am so happy and grateful now. You did your gratitude. You bought your dream this morning. You know what the number is? I'm not even going to say it. Statistically speaking. Now, in this group, it should be a damn high number. But I'd be shocked if it was over 50% of you bought your dream this morning. Ooh, snap. Bonus. How often is your dream available? You ready for this one? This just dropped in. My lover said, Sean, stop. You're being mean again. My warriors over there chanting, going, come on, let's go get him. Get him. So in my castle is a fascinating dialogue right now. Here's what happens. And you can unmute and you can say this. You can be quiet and say this or type it in the chat. But I really want you to become aware of this. Listen carefully. How often is your dream available for purchase? I want you to really think about this for a second. How many minutes of the day is your dream available for purchase?
Anytime.
And if your dream is available for purchase, and if you do not buy it, somebody else does. You know that phrase we say, if you don't have your own plan, don't be surprised the plan that somebody else has for you. Imagine your dream is for sale 24/7, 365. What's the price of your dream? Napoleon Hill says, set your definite major purpose. You want to create a compounding effect? Buy your damn dream every moment. What is the price you're going to pay? Because here's what happens. So let's say, how many of you have ever been to an auction? Raise your hand. I can see you on the camera or type an A in the chat. How many of you have ever been to an auction? How many of you ever saw something you wanted to bid on? Right? You wanted to bid on it. And you bid on it, you're like, oh my God, I could get this water bottle. That water bottle. Oh my God, you know that water bottle? It's amazing. That water bottle, it's a Bubba water bottle, and it's got the cap on it, it's got the little hangy thing, and it's metal. Oh my God. I'll pay like $5 for that water bottle. And here we go. 1 and a 2 and a 2 and a 2 and a 2 and a 3 and a 3 and a 3 and a 3 and a 4 and a 4 and a 4, 5. I'll go $5. And somebody comes along and a 5 and a 5 and a 5 and a 6. And somebody raises their hand and all of a sudden they're bidding on your water bottle. I'll never have the water. No, you go 6, 7. I can bid 7, but I thought I was going to get it at a deal. I thought I was going to get it at a deal. It says 6 and a 6 and a 6 and a 6 and a 7 and a 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7 and an 8, 8, 8, 8. You go 8, 8. What are you doing bidding on my water bottle? 9. They bid 9. You bid 10. You go $20. $20. I'm going to shut them down. They go 21. You're like, shh. Let me ask you. Your dream is going up for auction right now. What are you going to pay for it? Because it's either going to be bought by you or sold to someone else. How many of you have bought something you didn't want? How many of you bought a book you never opened? Not that you weren't going to, I'm eventually going to open this. I'm eventually going to read this. How many of you are willing to do whatever's necessary for you? The reason that you're not all in on your dream is because you don't realize how powerful your dream is for you. You still have a filter on it. If your dream is to create a tremendous amount of income and your business model requires you to be talking to people, and we talked about this on identity on day 1, day 2, vision casting, where do we need to spend our time? If you haven't done anything in society, I got a clue for you. It's going to get rougher because you're going to be all in on your dream and all in on your wants and all in on your vision, and you're not working in the one area you need to work in society. You don't need to organize your Rolodex any better. Napoleon Hill talks about in your definite chief aim, begin at once, begin immediately. If you need to adjust what it is you're shooting for, the target you're shooting for, you can adjust it. You're going to do things that don't work. First time's your worst time. There's going to be a lot of firsts in this journey towards your goal because you want something you never had. You got to think a way you've never felt, and think a way you never thought, cause you to feel a way you've never felt to produce results you never had. You got to start with you. You got to start with the thinking. You've got to get so fired up that you will become 10 foot tall and bulletproof. You want to create momentum? Do you realize that if you focused on your dream for the next 30 days, every day, next 30 days, every day, once an hour while you're awake, you wouldn't recognize yourself.
Bonus.
Every day, you breathe. Thank God. Listen, I'll be the first one to tell you, thank God my mammalian brain breathes for me, because if I had to remember to breathe, if I had to remember to digest, how many of you wish you could influence sometimes you got to go poo? Oh my God, I hope I make it. Yeah, that was my 3rd grader that just said that. Your body wants to do what your body's going to do. Why don't you suggest what you want your body to do? I am wealthy. Don't even say I'm wealthy. My apologies. I take that back. Say wealthy. Just say wealthy. Say peace. See, your brain is okay with going out because you didn't take it in, and because you got a bunch of evidence against whatever you're about to go say. If 80,000 thoughts happen a day, 60, 70, 80,000, pick a number, 80% are repetitive. Just for S and G's, because my math is a little bit challenging. So I'm going to say we got 100,000 thoughts a day. 80% of those, 80% doesn't sound like a big number. 80% of those are repetitive. You know what that means? 80,000 thoughts are repetitive. 80,000 thoughts are repetitive. And you're going to sit here and go, I'm going to spend my one morning in the hour and I'm going to dream about my dream of being 200,000 in sales next year. And the other 23 hours, you're getting your ass kicked all over town. You buy it for an hour, you get motivated. You love what I do here. What I do here is lovable. I get it. This is why I get to do this. I'm not here pitching shade or salt or anything else. I'm here full of fertilizer. And it's good stuff. And it has gotten so much better over 6 years. And you leave here and life slaps you right in the face instead of you slapping back. Going, isn't that fascinating? What happens between 8 and 9 o'clock is bikini body, baby. What happens between 9 and 10 is bikini body, baby. And you have to say things. You got to say it like that, man. You got to get your body going, what the heck's going on out there? When I ask you to say your goals, do you realize that's what starts your momentum? And some of you say, well, I want $120,000. Baby, say it. Say your goal and make it exciting. I want $5 million, baby. Oh, yeah. Cha-ching. But you won't do it. You won't do it. I'm going to watch you on the camera right now. I want you to say your dollar figure you want. I want you to put all of your body into it. No, your arms ain't moving, Diane. I'm $500,000, baby. You see what happens? We have to go for our mulligan. We got to do it again. Now move your body without screaming it so your husband doesn't come in and go, what the hell's going on in here? Just go. What's the triangle? You all know the triangle for leverage. Physiology, focus, language and meaning. You want momentum? Physiology. Move your body, right? Joseph McClendon says you shake your hips. Somebody type it in the chat. What is it when you shake your hips? What does the Harvard call that study? Assitude. We got attitude. You need to have assitude. How many of you are starting to laugh a little bit watching what's going on here, hearing me? I can tell you, if you are giggling right now, how low was your energy? How low was your energy that you want to go create something you've never created? And you're sitting there and me going, attitude, going, you're going, oh, there goes Sean. Why is it there goes Sean? Why isn't he finally catching up to me? Why are you always playing second fiddle in your own dream? I'm teaching you how to create momentum. As good as I am, as many certifications as I have, how many of those do you think Gizmo really gives a crap about? And Gizmo is our ram, our sheep, our Shetland sheep ram. How many of those does Bunny really care about? When she comes up, did she go, "Bad, did you get another certificate?" Does she ask me that? You can't pet me unless did you use all of your skills and talents this morning, Mr. Murphy? You know why I go up there? Because the only thing that matters to them is, am I capable of scratching their itch? And they will tell me where they want me to scratch them. On their shoulder, on their butt. Apollo likes when I scratch him right here between his eyes. He comes up and he rubs his head on me. Some of them like their belly scratched. Their belly goes, ooh, and they arch their belly. Ooh. None of them ask me, so how was your morning call? They're very self-full. And Gizmo, if I'm with the babies and Gizmo's there, he's like, you better make sure you get your ass over here. And how do I know Gizmo likes me? Gizmo loves me. He's got the smallest little indicator. It's about 3 inches long. It's his tail. And his tail goes straight up and goes. And he loves me. Nola, who's much like a 15-year-old girl. Ugh, whatever. Yeah, Daddy, okay. All right, you can pet me. All right, that's enough. No, that's more. Okay, that's enough. You're lucky to pet me. You're lucky I'm in the house. And Lily and McKinley are like in-laws. They'll come by, but they ain't. They ain't getting petted. Not that I don't want to pet them. So it's just a cross-section of humanity. So my question to you is, who are you letting dictate whether you're good or bad? Because you have a choice right now. You can choose momentum. What happens if from now until the end of the year, because you're going to come across some people, I'm guessing you may be invited to a party, you're going to be exposed to society. And here's the neat thing. I don't know about you, but this time of the year, people are just a little bit happier. Those that are a little bit happier are a little bit happier. Those that are sadder are a lot sadder. But the ones who are happier, the greetings in the grocery store, Merry Christmas. Somebody says to you, Merry Christmas, and you're like, I'm not a believer. Why would you say Merry Christmas to me? Are you freaking kidding me? Are you seriously kidding me? You're going to let your day go to hell in a handbasket because you don't believe in Christmas. And I don't want people say, we got into that. It doesn't matter if they say Merry. Listen, there's people who say to me, Happy Hanukkah. Because a lot of my friends are Jewish. They figure, well, you must be Jewish. You're there at Passover. I see pictures of you in this. My mother was Jewish. But somebody says to me, Happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas. Why are you letting other people's influence change your light? Not even change your life. It's changing your life. Well, I don't believe in Christmas. Don't wish me Merry Christmas. Get on a boat. That's going to change who you are. Somebody says something because they're ignorant of your belief. Come on. Wake up. You're letting your outside reality change your personality. There's nothing you can do to fix that. Somebody says, you're ugly. I've had people say to me, you're not the most handsomest guy on the planet. I know. Oh, isn't that fascinating? Maybe we need to get your eyes checked, but listen, I agree with you. Well, how can you let somebody offend you? Nobody can offend you without your permission. Nobody can keep you poor without your permission. With all of the skills and all of the talents and all of the content that's available, you are poor. Here's the tough one, by choice. Sorry, it was a choice. You have a choice, misery or joy. You chose misery. And you keep lying to yourself that you're going to get out of it. I got to get out of my comfort zone. Sorry, doesn't work that way. You either are out or you're in. No, talking about it doesn't do a dang thing. Could you imagine if I talked about, Michelle and I are going to have a baby. We're going to have a baby. And we talked about it. We wrote our goals down. We put up pictures. Isn't there something that's got to happen? Unless she's married, there's something got to happen to make that baby come true. Some of us aren't willing to fall in love with our dream and go do the work. I can promise you it's better than making a baby. Making a baby is a pretty good thing. Wait, what? What? So, thoughts, comments, questions, takeaways. I didn't even get to my number one on my notes because the PARB formula popped in. I went, okay, we're talking about that. Thoughts, comments, takeaways from your this morning's conversation.
Wow, Sean, this was, you keep expanding every day. My brain is like, woo.
Which is why we do a recap. We'll probably, today is Wednesday, we'll do another recap on Friday. So we'll do session 8. We won't go 5 full sessions, but we'll do a recap on Friday.
And you keep expanding because we've done potential and action and results before. But just, and when you bring it into the pillars, I think that's what's been getting, you've been getting through to me with that this week. And then you talked about compression of time, upgrading your value, and teach what you tolerate, not what you want. That hit me. It was like a few slaps in there today.
That's why I was sitting on my hands. I just can't keep hitting them.
And it was funny because this weekend we went up to help my sister and brother-in-law. They're selling their house, so we had to take some stuff out. She just has too many things. She's in one breath, she says thank you to him, but then in the other breath, she's saying negative things. So she goes, and at one point she just said to me, stop being so positive, and I'm sick and tired of that. And I said, well, I'm sorry, that's how I am.
Isn't it crazy that you're giving plants and seeds and possibilities, and somebody's like, okay, how much it actually their old story,
Yes.
their whatever their negative archetype is just absolutely to move their body. It's aggravating their body.
Mhm. And you can see it, like it, I said to my husband coming back, I said, if she would just let that go, but she lives so much in the past. She brings up so many things from the past. And it's like, and I just said to her, I said, you have to stop. And now I just put my hand up like this, and she goes, and she goes. So when you talk about how you are influenced by other people's, what did you say? Letting outside reality change your your inside reality. I notice I stop doing that when I can, because I know how that would change me.
Yep.
And change my reality. So that's another thing that you brought up for me. And my son yesterday, he keeps sending me all this stuff about health and wellness. And so I did. I sent him a text and I said, son, like, if you asked me, this is my whole life. Do you not remember when you were children? Blah, 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 blah. And he goes, okay, fine. I won't send you anything. I just thought you'd be interested in it. And it's stuff that I already listened to, these podcasts. So I said, you're just going to ask, buddy. I said, so now he's getting into more, the healthy part, and where their daughters, they want to do good, and looking at all those things. And I said, I've been in this industry for how many years now? And I kept you off the pharmaceutical medications because of what I did, and you survived and you're healthy. And so it was a funny reaction. He just went, won't send you anything anymore. And he has
rather than asking, okay, tell me more about it. It's like, right. So of the 6 pillars, now this isn't Maslow's hierarchy of needs, the 6 pillars: certainty, significance. It's certain the podcast is valuable, and he wants the significance of sending it to you. And he's not open to possibilities. He's not open to the unknown, that you already know it.
Yep.
So whenever you're in certainty and in significance, the result is you will be in pain, period. So if he was open to the unknowing, to living in a possibility world, I want my mom knows this, but he sees his mom as his mom, not as the world-class 26 years of wellness world. So that's right in the old family.
I know. Isn't that interesting?
Isn't that fascinating?
And my husband too, like they just love being in their comfort zone. Like it blows my mind.
So
And I
imagine them
realize I can't change them, but it's the things I do that they see, right? And
so imagine them in your visualization,
Mhm.
sitting in front with you. Now this is going to be a stretch, meaning, but we need to stretch it so that it can catch up. Imagine them sitting in front of you doing a whiteboard training on wellness. And they love it. They're sitting there, love it. Well, that'll never happen. Think you can, think you can. Either way, you're right. But imagine, take a day, take one of your meditations and just say, my family loves wellness.
Mhm.
My family loves the information I share. Doesn't mean they got to use any of it, but if they start to fall in love with who you are, what you are, my family knows all of the capabilities I have. If we start just saying it, right, then it opens up a window of possibility. As cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs as it sounds right now, that's how it starts. You can be the influencer of it. You can create momentum. My family loves to ask. You know what I love is when my daughter-in-law calls me and says, hey, Mom, help me with the baby. When my son calls and says, she's getting this, don't you have some of that stuff? Yeah, I do. I'll send you some. Imagine those imageries. Imagine your sister not necessarily listening to you, but not telling you to stop being positive. Imagine you have cracked her shell and the sunlight's going. Imagine her. Do you know the story of the Golden Buddha? It's where this little Tibetan town, they covered up Buddha with clay. And for hundreds and hundreds of years, the clay was on it, and they thought it was just a clay statue. It was a solid golden Buddha. One day, the clay was cracked, and they saw this gold underneath. The sun hit it just right, and they realized that for centuries, this Buddha, this clay Buddha, was literally a solid golden Buddha. Imagine that shell cracking on your sister, or allow some other imagery to come in. But all of a sudden realize the gold that's in her. Because the reason the resistance might be so high is because she's so in tune to it and the old story's showing up.
Yeah.
I want that, but if I do that, then my husband's not going to, right? And we come up with all of the addiction to approval of why I can't be in love with what my sister does.
Mhm. Well, thank you, thank you, thank you.
You're welcome, welcome, welcome.
It's changed the way you look at things.
Look at you, teacher,
Thank you.
mentor. Who else? Thoughts, comments, questions, takeaways, ahas?
I had to leave the restaurant because I was disrupting the guests, man. When we were doing do you think about your goal and scream and shout? They told me like you gotta leave, you know. But because they're my friends, I'm gonna come back after we finish. But it's today's session. I feel after these 7 sessions,
Yep.
I feel. You know what?
Feel good.
I feel good. I remember the exercise that we've done, I believe, on the very first day.
Yep.
When we talked about the identity
Mhm.
and we talked about where we are and where we want to be. And then everything in between is the gap.
Mhm.
For some reason, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm right, I don't know, but for some reason, I feel as if with every session, the gap just keeps getting smaller. And after today, and by the way, the circle you did with the potential and the results and beliefs,
Yep.
I have that in my notebook. Dated November 2020. So November 2022.
Okay.
So that was 2 years ago. I had that journaled, and it was from an Instagram live of yours from 2 years ago. And I remember I thought about it. I went back to my notebook when I originally journaled it. It was a bit different. I think that beliefs and the results were in a different place. But today was better, I think, because I believe it's all about the belief. And the more I think about it, the smaller the gap gets. And I love that. And that's fascinating to me. So, never thought about this before. Never thought about this before because if you do 50%, I mean, the math is mathing, right? The math checks out, man, because if you do 50% of the work, where are you gonna get, you know? Never thought about that before. So, and one thing also, um, you hit me deep with this because we get motivated for an hour coming on here, but it's like when you get home from a vacation and you just fall in love with the place, and then you get home and kind of depression hits you. I gotta be at the ranch. I gotta wake up 5 o'clock in the morning. I gotta feed the chickens, whatever. And you just were on a trip to Vegas, and you had the fun of your life and so on. That's the image I'm getting when you said that we get motivated for an hour and then we go off. And then unless we keep the emotion on, it don't work. So for me, today was massive. So thank you. Thank
I
you for
love
that.
it. You're welcome. Congratulations. And I said the same thing, and everybody gets you each get your own unique response. So be aware of how your body responded. Be aware of how your story responded, because that's what you needed today. I get to show up and speak from my heart. Sometimes it's my brain. Hopefully, most of the times it's my heart. And it resonates in a vibrational field that you can use. Doesn't make you feel less than, doesn't make you feel needed for, doesn't make you feel anything other than you falling more in love with yourself. That's my ultimate goal. My mantra every morning is I promise to do no harm, to be of value, and to love. Love me, love you, show up. It's why when I'm coming at you, I say the words, I love you, right? I dropped in the school community. If you haven't gotten an invitation yet, feel free. I don't know that I've sent an email out yet inviting everybody outside of this community. So if you haven't got there, I think most of you are there. That's the school community. Can't open it. That's a riggedy racket. It says that is I'll find it. Anyone else? Thoughts, comments, questions, takeaways?
Good morning, my friend.
Hey, good morning, Mr. Bob Kane, horseman.
So 2 words.
Yep.
Belief and action. Gotta believe. If we don't believe, nothing else is going to happen.
Yep.
But then we got to take action. We can't just leave it as a theoretical or contemplative state. We've got to take action, and it's not going to be right the first time's your worst time, and you get better, but we got to take action to let that belief grow, because if not, then after that hour it all goes away if we're not taking the action that's moving us in the direction that we want to go. So thank you.
You are welcome, welcome, welcome. Love it, love it, love it.
Good morning, Sean.
Good morning, Silky. Yes, go ahead.
So what do you need first, the belief or the action?
What drives your belief?
Are you asking me or are you going to answer me then?
I'm asking. It'll help me disseminate the answer to you in a way that's beneficial for where you're at. So what drives your belief?
My belief results.
So in order to have better results, what do you have to have better?
More action.
Okay. So so what's the difference between busy and results?
Busy is doing just random things that are easy
Mm-hmm.
and it doesn't produce the results. So doing profit producing actions, very specific, would produce the results.
Okay.
But
So,
but I'm still, my question is still the same. Will
right.
that, I mean, I have to believe that I will get the results.
So there's a lie being told in there somewhere by you to you. Where's the lie being told? These actions are profitable or that these results are not good?
That the results are not good.
Isn't any result a lesson to learn from? Either do more or do less of?
Yes.
So if you start to tell yourself a new truth that all of my results produce a response, if you keep repeating the same thing, there's a phrase they say, the lessons will continue or the pain will continue till the lesson is learned. So this all comes back to the way you are interpreting your results. You're either saying these are freaking awesome. You have to stop delusional thinking. That result sucks, period. I will not do the actions to change that. And so in order for me to change my actions, I have to change the way I think. And if I change the way I think, I change the belief. So it always comes down, there's nothing you can go do that's not being filtered through your belief. Remember? So watch this. Let's use something that's very recent and very impactful in your world. You had a belief you wanted to get exposure in your business. You said, I want to make $5 million next year. And within 72 hours, they said, here's a way, something you've never had before, something you couldn't have asked for. It was given to you. You had to have an invitation to write this article for BFM, Business from Home, BFH. And Ted sent you an email going, hey, listen, would you love to write an article for our magazine? Oh my gosh, your belief instantly went, I got what I asked for. I'm not capable. I'm not worthy. What should I write? You asked me. I never responded. You know what you needed to write. You know what you needed to write. You went out and said, I don't know what to do. And then you did it. And then your belief was, people came back and said, this is good. And you're like, dang right. And one person came back and said it was stupid. And your whole belief shattered again.
Yeah.
Until you said, you know what? More said yes, it was good than one said no. Why am I going to pay attention to the one? That's what I helped you with. I didn't help you write anything because I know what's about to happen. You're going to offend people because you got something that they didn't think you should have. Their philosophy is instead of they're building bigger, they tear everybody else's down. So your actions don't mean a damn thing. It was your belief in your action. And your belief in your action to write something you've never written before. Could it have been better? Yes. If you had to do it over, would you write it a little bit different, a little bit better? Do you have experience? Yes, it would be better. So this comes
Can
down to
always
you.
be better. But I think what was most important is to get it done because I wanted to get out there.
Right. So you're stuck in
That
strategy.
that was my goal.
Right. But you were
Yes,
stuck in.
I mean, I think it also depends. What shattered it that it was not good was because the person who told me it wasn't good was one of the owners.
Right. Well, it was a person of influence.
Yes.
So why do you listen to people who aren't influenced tell you you're okay? If a person of influence tells you you're not good, why do you let the people who shouldn't have any influence over you tell you you're good? Why do you believe that people tell you you're good?
I only shared it with people of influence.
No. Listen, I'm talking about everything. You go on a trip and somebody who's in your organization goes, oh, thank you. And you, oh, you're welcome. Why do you take praise?
because
You want to
it
know what
feels
you want to know what Maslow said? This one's going to freak you out. Be independent of the good opinion of other people. See, we're waiting for somebody to compliment us. I don't wait on people to compliment me. Of course I'm good. What you get around me, what the hell are you supposed to say? I know where I'm operating from. You're going to say you are a freaking genius. Don't believe your own press. Because if I got to count on somebody else to tell me I'm good, I can promise you I'm going to take it to heart when somebody says I'm an asshole. I don't pay attention to either.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You always open my mind and push me to think in a different way. And that is so incredibly valuable to me because, you know, I think just in one way sometimes. I try to think out of the box and you definitely push me out of the box. And I absolutely love that about you because it really, really helps me to grow. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And I love you very much. So thank you.
Thank you. I love you too. Here's the thing. If right, we're always told, don't worry about what people say bad about you, which forces us to believe that we should be, by not saying it, the corollary is believe everything people say good about you. Maslow said to Dr. Wayne Dyer one day, and he said, it shook my world forever. Maslow said, be independent of the good opinion of other people.
I'm gonna write it down.
You get to 5 million in income, you're doing 50 million in sales. Average income 10%, just on average. Some are 18%. Oh, we pay out 50%. Yeah, up the line and through the tree. You get 10%. Your efforts produce about 10% of the income. That means 50 million in business. Do you think there's going to be some people who have life-changing experiences over the course of 2025? Do you think there's going to be some people who think you're the devil reincarnated because they didn't follow the rules and they just were looking for somebody to blame for their failure and they blame you, the big one, because you got the target on your back? You're at the top of the mountain. You're in that pyramid thing. Of course there are. And if you don't have any of those, I don't know, you're never going to hit the 5 million because you are going to have to ruffle some feathers. She's got over 1 million followers now. Kim Pothier, but Real Talk Kim. Real Talk Kim. If you find her on Instagram, I picked her up at the Biloxi airport one day, and she was coming to an event I was a part of, and we got to spend some time together. We kind of became ride or die in a very short period because we spoke the same language. But one of the phrases that I love that she has is that I don't have haters. I have confused followers.
I love that. That's a good
So
way.
go get some confused followers. You know why I love when somebody attacks me? If my community sees somebody attacking me, they are the most vicious pit bulls on the planet. They will they will scare the living shiitake out of them with their love for me. I have an army around me. I hope I get more confused followers to give some of my warriors a chance to go fight, because I just go, isn't that fascinating? I giggle and laugh and tell Michelle, you want to see what somebody just said about me? She goes, what? What did they say about you? And usually before I can finish reading it, somebody's got to reply to them going, well, you don't know him and go fly a kite or whatever. It just gets really funny real quick. If your belief in you could go to 100% and you have 100% potential, doesn't that mean the other ones, you're not going to have to sift through the 99% of action to get to the 100% result? That's all this is about, is do the right thing at the right time in the right place. And that all comes from belief.
Wow. Yeah.
And belief is driven by our thoughts. which is why self-talk and brain talk and neuroencoding and addiction to approval and mental toughness and delusional thinking, all of the things I have put my life's focus on are to only increase your belief, to get you to believe in you. I don't want you to believe in me. That's false. I want you to love me as a resource, not the source, as a resource. But when you get connected, there is a thinking stuff from which all things are made. If I can get you to connect to the thinking stuff, job one done. Job two, get you to hold that thought, your thought in the thinking stuff, not my thinking stuff, not my actions. What would you do? Not my script, not the way I would say anything, not the way I would do anything. I want you to hold your thought in your thinking stuff. A thought held in that substance long enough, strong enough, produces always 100% produces the result. So you want to look at your results? It's your belief. It's not even your act. You might be doing the right actions, but it's your belief that's keeping it from happening. I could plant a tomato seed, and if I pour sand on it, I'm watering it. You're watering it with sand. Well, they didn't tell me what I should water it with. Water. Well, I like sand. Water makes me icky. Water makes me sticky. Well, you can't disobey the laws of God.
Bonus.
And most of us we have such an ego, we don't want to think a simple thank you can change our life. What if you got paid by thank yous? What if you got paid by emotional thank yous? Every time you stopped, had a pause, just a 3-second pause with somebody, and they heard the thank you, they heard the level of gratitude, of love. You got so good at being able to incorporate a symphony of love and honor and respect in your thank you. You got paid $100 every time you did that. But it's got to be with the symphony of thank you, not just a thank you. Appreciate it. You would get real freaking good real quick on how to be thankful to your world. That's the
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
You feel the
Thank you.
difference? And how many of you hear the difference in that thank you from Silky? Silky, we all heard that. That's you doing it. Not for the first time, but for one of the first times. Do you feel that you were actually almost brought to emotion? What if you could do that with everybody on your team? If you called up everybody on your team that's in your auto ship or auto pay or subscribe and save and said, hey, listen, I just really, all I want to do is say thank you to you. You brought tremendous value to my family in 2024, and I hope I can pay. I'm getting emotional. I hope I can pay you back in 2025.
I will do that. I love that. That is an amazing idea, and I will do that. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, I think, I always have been taught to say thank you from very little girl on.
Right.
But yes, you are right. It depends also how you say it. I mean, I'm grateful if somebody holds the door open. I always make a point to say, thank you so much, because it's something somebody does for me. So I understand exactly what you're saying. But the thank you, the way you say it has also the power sometimes more so than exactly what you're saying. So yes, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you to everyone on this call, because you all helped me so much. And thank you for having this space. And thank you, thank you.
Kind of cool that a thank you does that much, isn't it? Maybe if we got good at what we need to get really good at, we wouldn't have to worry about getting average at what we're bad at. You guys, I promise you, you go on to the school community or any place, you go on to my website, you could make a living fixing my spelling. If something is put out and it is completely perfect, you can pretty much, you could go to the casino and bet on black that I didn't write it, or I had somebody look at it. I'm not going to ever get good at spelling. I am getting better and better every day in every way at my spelling. I am doing my best to make sure that the message doesn't get lost. But that is not the highest priority. That's why I am not an author. I am a presenter. You get in front of me, we have a dialogue, I get to see you face to face. There ain't no getting around my greatness. You are not going to hear something I say misspelled. I love it. Anyone else? Last thoughts, comments before we go 2 hours?
Can I just add something to that, Sean?
Please, Diane.
Thank you, Silky. You talked about seeing the same car and settling, and we're not thinking big enough. And I realize that I'm not. So that
That
changed.
one hurt. That one hurt when I was saying it.
Yeah.
I felt
Okay.
pain in saying that, but I was arguing with my archetypes going, I don't know if that should be said now. And they said, that's why you're not in charge.
No, I felt so. And that brought it out again. And I just wanted to say, you have influenced a lady that lives in Sri Lanka. She's a lady that's here with Rotary. And I've been giving her drives back and forth too. She's been coming to our meetings because she wanted to keep up with what's going on. And I'll be president of our Rotary next year, and she's going to be president in hers. So she said, we should collaborate and do some things together. And she said, but I dragged her around the city yesterday because I was looking for something, and she said, I'll just tag along. So I gave her a drive home. And she said, thank you. And she gave me a big hug at the end. And she said, all the gratitude and things you talk about, I'm taking that back with me. So your reach, Sean, is global. And I want to thank you for that and for bringing that out. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you. I love it. And you are a brilliant steward of the information you share. So thank you for that. I know it was sent in the healthiest of forms, maybe even got an injection of some Manipul, and it's even better when it went to her than when I said it. Love it. Anyone else? Last thoughts, comments, questions, takeaways?
Hey, listen, just a letter of respect. I mean, you always keep it real, as the young people in America say, always keep it 100. But today was tough. And you know why I love tough love? I sure love that. So I just want to give you my respect because, wow, shots fired, man. Dispatch, send additional units, shots fired. Today was really deep for me, really deep. The last one that was this deep for me was day 2 on the vision casting, because I understood that the devil is in the detail, and the details give you certainty, which I want to have more of. And I just made a profile on school, and in the bio it said you need to write something to admit to the community. And I said, I have beliefs I want to have less of, and I have beliefs I want to have more of. And that's my ultimate goal for 2025. After these 7 sessions, I decided to forfeit being attached to things. I don't want to strive for anything. I want to arrive at those things. I want to forfeit the belief that I need to buy another book. I need to buy except for yours, but I need to buy another book, another course, another program, another iPhone, another computer, another whatever. But I actually want to make best use of what I have within me. That's the belief I want to have more of. And another belief I want to have less of is, or actually, another belief I want to have more of is the belief that, or actually the fact, what you said yesterday, which is when you have an obstacle in front of you, in your vision become bigger than the obstacle, and it will get resolved. And the belief I already have, because I've been around you for a couple of years, and this is another point of why I give you my respect, and you'll always have my respect, is that you always say that what would Sean do? That's something that we shouldn't be thinking about, but we should be thinking about what would December 2025, AJ, Luis, Silky, Diane, Michael, Lewis, and so on do. So that's why I want to give you my respect once again. And those are the beliefs I want to have more of. So thank you.
I love it. When I heard you say, what would Sean do? Allow yourself the space to say, what would Sean suggest? What would Sean mentor me on? And the definition, knowing the definition of a mentor's to help you do things you didn't know you could do. What would be his mentoring conversation? He'd say to me, okay, you ready for a mentor moment? And he'd say, and allow your highest self to fill in that blank. For you to, because the only way you get that answer is from you. Because even when I ask it, I don't have the answer. I ask you, so what would your best version of you say right now? I don't know. I know, but if you did know, what would it say? And you go, oh, all right, let me look. And you come up with something and go, holy crap. Love it. Thank you, AJ. And you have my honor, love, and respect as well for all that you've taught us and all that you've shared with us, because your vulnerability, as Brene Brown says, gives us strength. So thank you for the strength you give me.
It is because of the community. And just as Luis said, well said, my thoughts as well, Diana as well. I was always fascinated by the DA community because of one reason only. On the call right now, we have what? We have 13 people, including you.
Yep.
So we got 12 people on. We have people in their 20s. We have people in their 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, God knows. We have people from Canada, from the US. We have people from Europe. We have people that are maybe financially independent. We have people that make a lot of money. We have people that maybe that are struggling with money. We have people that have high school degrees. We have people that are maybe doctors of science. We have people that do a lot of stuff. And all of us have the same issues. And that's what's been badgering in my mind for the last 5 years. And that's why I find that the Misfits is actually where I fit. And I love that. So thank you to everybody that's on the call and everybody that attends, everybody that was on the call. It's not anymore, and everybody that will come. I hope to bring a couple of people on as well in 2025, so we can spread the message. That's important. So thank you to everyone.
Love it. Thank you, AJ. Well, there you go, ladies and germs. And I wonder who Jamie Johannes is. A 5th degree black belt. Yikes. Just join the community. So that'll be interesting. Hey, listen, I'm your brain scrambling misfit. I love you all so very much. Thank you for taking this journey with me. I'll see y'all where?
At the next
event.
I love it, love it, love it. Somebody give me some Costa Rica.
Pura vida.
Pura vida. We love you, Mark. And some Lydia.
Peace be with us.
Peace be with us all every day in every way and getting better every day. And some queen of the compound effect, Jessie Lee Ward.
Awesome.
And a little bit of gurgly. We love you, fluffy white thing.
Oh, Fifi.
Fifi, we love you, girl. All right, everybody, go have some fun today. We will see you tomorrow morning. And keep your eye on the school community. Lots of cool things going to be happening there. I'm really excited about what I can do inside of there. So I love you tons. See you all tomorrow.
Thank you. Love you guys.
Yeah.
Love you all.